The first light of dawn crept over Jerusalem, soft and pale, brushing the tops of the olive trees with gold. The city was quiet, too quiet for a festival week, as if creation itself held its breath. Along a narrow path outside the city walls, a small group of women walked quickly, clutching jars of spices. Their faces were drawn with grief, their steps heavy with exhaustion. Mary Magdalene led them, her eyes red from weeping but determined. The garden was still, the air cool, the tomb ahead, silent, but something was wrong. The stone, the massive stone sealed by Rome, was no longer in place. It lay pushed aside like a discarded pebble. Mary froze, Joanna gasped, Mary the mother of James covered her mouth. They rushed forward, hearts pounding, and stepped inside. The tomb was empty. The burial cloths lay neatly folded, untouched. The air felt charged, as if lightning had passed through moments before. What does this mean?" Joanna whispered. Before anyone could answer, a sudden brilliance filled the chamber, a light so pure it seemed to burn without heat. Two figures stood beside them, their garments shimmering like lightning, their faces radiant with the glory not of this world. The women fell to the ground, trembling. One of the shining figures spoke, his voice like a warm wind. "Why do you look for the living among the dead?" The words echoed through the stone chamber. "He is not here, he is risen." The women lifted their heads, tears streaming, overtaking fear. "Remember," the second figure said gently, "how he told you in Galilee that the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day rise again." And suddenly, they remembered. The sorrow that had crushed them cracked open, replaced by a wild, trembling hope. They ran, stumbling, breathless, back toward the city. The 11 were gathered in a dim upper room, shutters closed, voices hushed. Fear hung thick in the air. When the women burst in, breathless and radiant, the room erupted in confusion. "He's alive," Mary Magdalene cried. "The tomb is empty. We saw angels, they said he is risen," but the disciples stared at them, stunned. Their words sounded impossible, too good, too wild, too unreal. Peter, however, felt something stir deep within him, a spark he had not felt since the night he denied Jesus. Without a word, he bolted from the room and ran through the streets, heart pounding, until he reached the tomb. He bent down, breath ragged. The linen strips lay there, just as the women had said. Peter stepped back, confusion and hope warring inside him. What has happened?" he whispered. Later that same day, two disciples, Cleopas and another, walked the dusty road toward Emmaus. Their steps were slow, their conversation heavy with sorrow. How could this have happened? Cleopas muttered, "We thought he was the one." As they spoke, a stranger approached. Walking beside them, "What are you discussing?" he asked. They stopped, faces downcast. "Are you the only visitor in Jerusalem who doesn't know what happened?" Cleopas asked, disbelief in his voice. "What things?" the stranger said. "Jesus of Nazareth." They reply, "A prophet powerful in word and deed. Our leaders handed him over to be crucified. We hope he would redeem Israel, and now it's the third day." They exchanged a glance. "And this morning," the other added, "some of our women claimed they saw angels who said he was alive." The stranger listened, then sighed, not in frustration, but in compassion. "How slow you are to believe," he said softly. "Didn't the Messiah have to suffer these things before entering his glory?" And then, as they walked, he began to explain the scriptures, from Moses to the prophets, weaving together every promise, every prophecy, every shadow that pointed to the Messiah. Their hearts burned within them. When they reached Emmaus, the stranger made as if to continue on, but they urged him, "Stay with us. The day is nearly over," he agreed. Inside the small home, they sat at a simple table. The stranger took bread, blessed it, broke it, and gave it to them. In that moment, their eyes were opened. The stranger was no stranger. He was Jesus, alive, glorified, standing before them. And then, he vanished. The disciples stared at each other, breathless. "Were not our hearts burning within us?" Cleopas whispered. They rose at once and ran back to Jerusalem. The 11 were still gathered when the two burst in, shouting, "It's true! The Lord has risen!" Before they could finish, a presence filled the room, gentle, powerful, unmistakable. Jesus stood among them. "Peace be with you," they recoiled, terrified. thinking they saw a spirit. But Jesus lifted his hands. "Why are you troubled? Look at my hands and my feet. It is I myself." He stepped closer. "Touch me and see. A spirit does not have flesh and bones, as you see I have." Joy and disbelief warred on their faces. Jesus smiled. "Do you have anything to eat?" They handed him a piece of broiled fish. He ate it, slowly, deliberately, and the room fell silent in awe. Then he spoke. "This is what I told you. Everything written about me in the law of Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms must be fulfilled." He opened their minds, and suddenly the scriptures blazed with meaning. "The Messiah will suffer and rise on the third day," he said, "and repentance and forgiveness will be preached in his name to all nations. You are witnesses of these things." Days later, Jesus led them to the outskirts of Bethany. The air was warm, the sky clear. He lifted his hands and blessed them. As he blessed them, his form began to rise, slowly, gracefully, lifted by a glory not of this world. The disciples watched, eyes wide, hearts pounding higher, until a cloud enveloped him. He was gone. But the world had changed forever. The disciples fell to their knees, worshiping. Then they rose, not in fear, but in joy, and returned to Jerusalem. And there, in the temple courts, they praised God continually. The story was not ending, it was beginning.